40% over Chicago Bulls, despite some promising performance from Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu coming off the bench. The Bulls do lose to the OKC Thunder, 116 to 102. We're gonna break it all down, talk about it, have some therapy because we know, Lord knows, it's needed. Right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
All right, Chicago Bulls fans, welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. Oh man, the Bulls lost again. I would like to say that this shocks me, that loss, maybe how they lost, but it doesn't really shock me overall. When you look at the performances we got in this game, DeMar DeRozan, who only scored 4 points in the first half, does finish the game with over, what did he have in the total of the game? He had 25 points, so he scored 21 points in the second half. Much better second half from DeMar DeRozan. Kobe White was pretty, good throughout all the game. He ends up only scoring 5 points, though, in the second half of the game. He finishes with 23 points overall. Patrick Williams finishes with 10 points. He was stepped into the starting lineup with Zach LaVine out. He gets 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists in this game from him. So shout out to him there. But overall, just the thing that hurt this team the most is just, again, slow freaking starts. The Chicago Bulls won the second and the third quarters in this game. They lost the first quarter by 12 points, only scoring 14 points in the first quarter of this game. Once again, slow starts doom the Chicago Bulls. They would have been able to be in this game had they just scored much more consistently throughout the game and didn't have that terrible first quarter, but it almost doesn't matter. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has 40 points, 12 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 3 blocks from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in this game. Chet Holmgren has 18 points, 13 rebounds in this game, 2 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks from Chet in this game. Overall, the OKC Thunder had 12 blocks in this game. Chicago Bulls had 2. Right. So again, the Bulls get outworked in the hustle stats when you look at it. The Bulls did win points off turnovers, so I'll give them that. They scored 25 points off turnovers, even though the turnover battle was pretty close with 12 by the Thunder and 10 by the Chicago Bulls. So they won that. When you look at the rebound battle, the Bulls lost their rebounding battle 45 to 38. All right, close enough as far as close there. Points in the paint. 42 points in the paint by the OKC Thunder, 28 points in the paint by the Chicago Bulls, and 41 points off the bench for the Thunder as well. Listen, this was a game that just, again, everything that's wrong with this team continues to just be wrong. Like, it is what it is. Like, this team, it just, at this point, the identity is baked into who this team is. It doesn't matter who's in or out the roster. The slow starts just seem to be something we cannot get past at all. And, it is what it is there. I didn't like how Nikola Vucevic didn't attack when he had smaller players on him. He does get 16 and 12 in this game with two steals, 3 assists as well. He shoots the ball 6 for 13, so not terribly. But Vooch didn't try to be aggressive, really, felt like, at any stretch in this game. Maybe on a couple of plays, but like for an extended period of time, no. Our benches continue to struggle with Alex Caruso now in the starting lineup, and then Patrick Williams also in the starting lineup. We had a total of freaking 17 points off the bench, or 16 points, off the bench in total, whereas like they had Isaiah Joe alone outscored the Bulls bench. He came off the bench for the Thunder. He scored 20 points, and then we gave up 13 points to Williams. So listen, this Bulls team got beat in every facet of the game. They got outcoached in every area of the game. It just, you're not going to win games like this. The OKC Thunder shot 49.3% in this game. The Chicago Bulls shot 38%. You're not going to win a lot of basketball games like that. You're just not going to. It's almost impossible to do. And so, listen, this Bulls team has a lot of struggles, has a lot of things they need to figure out. Will they figure it out? I don't have very much faith for it. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. This team they are who exactly the media thought we were coming into this season. And that's a team that doesn't look like it's in any shape, form, or fashion ready to compete. It just does not seem like that. This team ain't going to compete for nothing. It's silly. It's really stupid. And that's an unfortunate part, man. It's unfortunate. And at the end of the day, it just is going to be what it's going to be, man. This is crazy, bro. This is wild, man. This really really freaking sucks. Is what it is. Where we are right now as a team, we don't have any hopes to improve in any type of meaningful areas. It's just not going to happen. This is going to be a struggle. Now, again, we'll see what happens when Zach LaVine trade finally goes through, whatever this team ends up looking like at this point. But like the thing that I keep coming back to is this team needs a culture change. And unfortunately, just moving out Zach LaVine doesn't change the culture enough. And the fact that Billy Donovan is probably going to keep his job for the foreseeable future is wild. It's wild. And it's disheartening because, listen, this is another fireable offense. It just is. When you look at the performance of this team, this is a fireable offense by any coach. This team is lethargic. This team ain't prepared. This team doesn't execute. This team doesn't do the fundamentals. And I'm sorry. Yes, the players have a huge part of the responsibility in that. They do. But Billy Donovan, as a head coach, you can tell it's run its course. It's done. This is his 4th year as the coach of the Chicago Bulls. It's done. It typically doesn't get better. You don't see a culture get better that's been this bad by keeping the same coach on. Could you? Yes, it's possible. Don't get me wrong. But you don't typically see that happening when a team has reached this levels of depravity. You just don't usually see that. Jack Holland says that 4-point play hurt us. I like to say we played with some heart in this game. We missed a lot of shots, especially in the first half. But SGA, that guy, MVP candidate, Caruso has issues guarding him. Listen, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the most fluid scorers in the NBA right now. Period. You can put him right up there with anybody. He just makes it look so easy. He can get to his spots. He understands how to take apart a defense. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best scorers in the game of basketball right now. At this point, Kobe is more of a leader on this team than Zach ever was. I know Kobe hasn't been the most consistent these past few games, but his impact is felt. Listen, Kobe's out there trying to do something. Billy Donovan, Kobe's talked about. Everybody's talked about how more boisterous Kobe White has become this upcoming season. And we'll see if it ends up playing into like the second part of his career. As a Bulls fan, we're in purgatory, shaking my head. I mean, listen, like I said, we'll see what happens after the Zach LaVine trade goes down, whenever it goes down between mid to end December. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. The Bulls out here taking L's like it's buy one, get one free. Hey, listen. This is the start of a long road trip for the Bulls. Be prepared. It's about to get ugly. We're trying to inflate OKC stats or some shit. What's with them offensive fouls? And listen, at this point, it was more than just the offensive fouls, though. The Bulls put up nothing defensively. Nothing. They gave the cheeks up. That's what happened. Haize, this sucks from Kadaro. Yeah, bro. It's absolutely trash. It's trash. Samir says, Vooch has never been a great defender, but damn, he's getting killed lately. Listen, Vooch has been a solid positional defender on the ball. But I think we're starting to see the age is catching up with Vooch. At least that's the way it looks. Him and DeMar to a certain degree. I'm not just going to put it on Vooch. It's him and DeMar. Quentin from Let's Talk Bulls says, no, Zach, same losing Bull. Same story. Same story. Eli says, hello, darkness, my old friend. That is hilarious. But that is where we are right now. What's good, Haize? Certainly not Billy's coaching. Hope y'all have a good Thanksgiving tomorrow. That's funny. Yeah, Billy's coaching ain't good. Billy got to go. Billy got to go. Like at the end of the day, Billy has to go, but he's not going to, right? That's what's crazy about all of this. The Bulls look the same without Zach. What a shame. Listen, I mean, it is what it is. This is the most depressing team in the league. I don't know if I'll say that, right? The Bulls aren't even as bad as we are. We're not the worst team in the league. The Detroit Pistons are 2-13. The Washington Wizards are 2-12, and they just traded for fucking Jordan Poole, who looks like trash, right? So the Memphis Grizzlies, who had hopes of being a championship contender, are 3-11. So listen, the Bulls suck too. Don't get me wrong. But there's some teams that are sucking worse than the Bulls, which is crazy. Imagine how these Bulls game record could have been if they never came out flat, start the games all the time to fight their way back and play hard to tie games in the second half. Like we've said it before, if the heart that the Bulls find in the second half of these games, if they find a way to bottle that up and make it across the whole 4 quarters, we're winning way more games than what we've won so far. They played with so much more energy, though. It gives me hope. Towards the end, this ain't new. We've seen them play with energy in second half games too, right? We know the energy that they can play with, but until they fix those slow starts, man, it's crazy. First of all, let me say I'm going to watch all 82 games, but this one hurts. We really had a chance to win. But we've had a chance to win a lot of games. It just, man, it sucks, bro. It sucks. Jay Stymie says, had to work late and only caught the fourth quarter. Lately, that seems to be the best way to watch the Bulls. If you just watch the fourth quarter and make you think that this team has hope, right? Hope got up. But yeah. Y'all ready for Zachless Bulls? I mean, listen, if it's gonna be the same as what we're doing, it's not gonna be any different at all. Cordell says, sad to see my team keep going out like this. Hope something changes soon. So I mean, something will change fairly soon. It's not in the super soon, but that Zach LaVine trade, something's gonna change. Something's gonna change, man. Sup, Haize, just tuning in. What's going on, Eads? Glad to have you in the building as always, brother. I wish we could talk about up right now, but hey, right now the Bulls suck absolute donkey dick. So that's where we sit right now. That is where we sit. Can't believe the Bulls made me miss Giannis and Dame versus Celtics. Don't know why I'm still watching this team. Is beyond draining. I mean, listen, the one thing that I always say, I'm always a Bulls fan first. That's never going to change, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to call out the bullshit we see with this team. And right now, man, this is bad. This is bad. I'm glad fans, even Stacey King, are calling Vooch out for the lack of aggression and effort on a daily basis. Can't win with a soft center like that. No, you can, but you have to have everything else executing. When your team is shooting like absolute dog shit, it doesn't help either. So there you go with that one. No, man, these guys are giving up first quarter immediately every game. They don't look like they belong in the NBA. Well, that's the thing. It's 4 quarters of basketball. So the first quarters are completely giving us shit, but it's like the team has to be down for them to discover their heart and play with it. And at that point, they have so much more to overcome. It's crazy. It's crazy. Easy G says, just think Garpax could have drafted SGA, but they thought Wendell Carter was better. That's another, like, the woulda, coulda, shoulda of Bulls and drafts recently is wild. It's really wild. The Enriquez says, fire Billy, he's not the coach we need. Listen, I agree with that, but we know this team, and it seems like they are ready to just double down on Billy goddamn Bubblegum Donovan. It's crazy. It's crazy. Billy lost the locker room. I mean, it seems that way. It definitely seems that way. Why the fuck did they stop giving Kobe the ball? Because Billy Donovan is a terrible basketball coach, Ricky. That's why. They stopped giving it to him because they suck ass. Billy is the coworker who was always late and says, "What they gonna do? Fire me?" That's crazy. That's scarily accurate. To your point, Miami Heat had one of the worst off seasons you think of, waiting for Damian Lillard, and look at them now. I mean, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, they thought they were going to be in that position to be able to make a run at Dame Lillard, and they let some things go by. But listen, they're 10-5. They're number 4 in the Eastern Conference. But you know what? They have one of the best head coaches in the game of basketball. They also have Jimmy Butler, and they have Bam. And those are players that compete every single time. They're not going to let that team get down on themselves, right? So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Courtney Sykes with the super chat. Thank you. Courtney says, hey, it's long season, but at least we have this channel for real content. Well, I appreciate that. I'm going to keep bringing you the real content. But all I can say in this is that this team right now sucks. And it's disappointing to see a team perform and give this type of effort consistently, man. It sucks. Lama, where you been at? Yes, Zach didn't play today. He was out. He had a right foot injury, so sprain, something like that. We look the same without Zach than we did with Zach. Is that an indictment on him or Billy? Listen, both, because the shit was still trash. It is what it is. The shit was still trash. And that's why, like, anybody who says it's just Zach is part of the problem, but anybody who says it's just Zach or it's just Billy, no, it goes hand in hand. Billy Donovan is a bad coach for this team. Period. He's a bad coach for this team, and it's not gonna very much isn't gonna improve with Billy Donovan. Like it's terrible, man. It's terrible. It's terrible. Lil Famo in the building. He says, every time we get the game close, I get hyped just to be let down. Like, damn, bro, losing sucks. I mean, listen, this team will make you rally back, right, and think that something's going to happen, and it just doesn't because this team is trash. That's what it is. This team is trash. They don't give a shit. They don't. This team's trash, fam. Haize, say what you want about the Detroit Pistons, but at least they have something that we don't. Monty Williams, a sense of direction. Listen, you can have a sense of direction, but if it still leads you in the goddamn toilet, I mean, you're still in the shit. So, I mean, listen, I love Monty Williams. Keep in mind they had to overpay because Monty didn't even want to coach. That should tell you something. Yes, Monty is there, but Monty Williams turned them down, I believe, twice before they convinced him to be the coach, and they had to make him the highest paid coach in the NBA to do it. That should tell you where the Detroit Pistons are right now. In the toilet, right along in the shit, right with us. We're both in the shit. It's shit all the way around. Haize, why is it that when we get players in free agency that were above average with previous teams drop below average when they play for the Bulls? That's not necessarily true. I mean, listen, DeMar DeRozan broke Wilt records after we signed him. Wilt Chamberlain records. Those records have been standing longer than anybody in this chat has probably been alive. Lonzo Ball was on pace to have one of his better seasons, right? So I won't say that every time we sign a free agent they do worse, right? But at the end of the day, I think that you're seeing a team that's dying. This team is dying. You got to kill it dead. Sometimes you just got to put it out of its misery. The dog needs to be put down. And that dog, I wish we had the dog in the players because we don't got that. Cedric Play says, do you think Zach actually has an injury? I've been seeing skepticism all over it. Listen, like I said before, there's at the end of the day, the soap operaing of sports, I don't do. It is what it is. That's all I can say. It is what it is. He's not going to be moved anytime soon. I don't know how it benefits, but hey, I guess we'll see. Bulls ain't going to be any better after we blow this mess up. Plus, the year draft cast looks weak. We're going to be at least a couple of years from good basketball again. Well, I mean, it depends, right? Good basketball, we'll see. You can play good basketball and still not win a lot of games. But here's what I'll say is that just because this draft is shaping up to be weak doesn't always mean that you got to find the right player in the draft. Tyrese Halliburton came from a weak draft. That was a weak draft. So you just got to hope that you're going to get the right piece. So, I don't think the superstar franchise player necessarily comes out this draft, but you can definitely get one that can help the team. I guarantee you, if we had somebody like Chris Fleming or Monty Williams, we'd be fourth in the. Not Chris Fleming. We overvalue Chris Fleming, and I don't think Monty Williams can't get the Detroit Pistons outside of 2 wins, and they both came against us, right? At least one of them. So I'm not even trusting that. The place where this team is right now is a combination of a few different things. I do think that Vooch and DeMar are slowly starting to take their step back, which was to be expected to happen at some point. You got Zach LaVine, who's fed up, and you have a roster and an offensive game plan that's stagnant and easy for opposing defenses to figure out. It's going to be a long season. I have no trust in the front office to make the right changes or Billy to coach. I mean, listen, I can't blame you for having that. Thank you for supporting the channel. We'll see. We'll see. I watched this game with a migraine. If you're wondering about my dedication, that's hilarious. That's funny. We're in the shit. We're in the shit. Like that's it. We are knee deep in the shit. That's where we are right now. Listen, it's plumber's levels of shit right now. It's ass all the way around. Only thing you're smelling around here is despair, frustration, and ass. That's it. That's all that you smell around the Chicago Bulls right now. Despair, frustration, and ass. That's it. That's it. Even without Zach, Bulls still had a slow, terrible first quarter. Yes, because that is what this team is right now. A bunch of slow, terrible ass starts. That's what we got. Why the fuck would I cop Big Baller brand shoes? Come on now. I have some self-respect. To what extent do you think we're going to just let this Bulls team keep playing like crap? Bro, I have no fucking idea. Listen, here's the thing. Like I said before, we should be thanking Zach LaVine for the trade request. The only reason is because it forces change. This front office, I fully believe, would have kept things the exact same and kept trying to sell us on the bullshit. It's bullshit. Billy does not know how to use his players. Same as OKC. The players figured it out by themselves. It's beyond me how to blame Z for this situation. He has his part in the blame. He has his part in the blame. Mike Milley says, Tyrese Halliburton draft was not weak. Scouts did not know what they were talking about. You have Maxey, Ant, Jaden, MC, McDaniels, LaMelo, Hallie, Vassell. The draft was not weak. No, the draft was weak coming in as far as prospects. That's why we say you can't judge a draft just based off that because you don't know who's going to hit their ceiling. But it was a weak draft as far as the sense of prospects coming in. But you had players that turned out to be solid in that draft. But again, all those players, though, besides Maxey, have been on losing teams. So there you go on that one. Shay said, my nerves is King Von and the Chicago Bulls team is Lil Tim. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. It's C-Way's World says, notice a few things. One, Bulls' bad vibes have now affected Torrey and Javon. Their play has decreased. They seem less confident. Pat's defense rebounding was A1. Io's thriving. She had in part 2. We just as trash with Zach or without him, so that says a lot. DeMar 34 and declining, but we still need him to be our number one option. That's crazy. Well, listen, I've said it before. And I do think that as the offense opens up more and Kobe gets more of a chance to kind of be the scorer that he can be, I think we're going to see a different Kobe White. And I think Kobe's really ready for that role. SGA figured out what Zach still hasn't. Screaming doesn't get you foul calls when you're in the paint. It's the body movements that get you the calls. And that, listen, we've said it before when it comes to Zach LaVine. All that bitching he does about not getting foul calls, if you just try to finish strong, you'll get the call more times than not. You get the call more times than not. I'm convinced 100 years after I'm long dead, the Bulls will still be trashed with Jerry still as the owner. Listen, ownership has very little to do with the day in and day out of a team. I can tell you that right now. This is why drafting is the most important thing. And the thing that set the Bulls back the most isn't ownership. It's not that. It's the lack of hitting on a lot of most of your draft picks over the last few years. That's the biggest thing with this team. That is the absolute biggest thing. I just don't understand how Acme as a front office can build something great and find talent in Denver if they didn't, or not only took credit for it to this mess in Chicago. Well, no, let's keep in mind, right? Even in our critique of the front office, they built something that worked here. When Lonzo Ball was here, it was working. So, no, AK in this front office has shown an ability to build something. They have shown that. They have rebounded from the Lonzo Ball injury terribly, right? Terribly, bad, terrible. But they've shown an ability to build something. They got DeMar, they got AC, they got Lonzo. In the offseason, we went into that offseason with no cap space. So, listen, they've shown some glimpse of being smart. The thing is, now you got to go out and do it again. Because if you do it once, it's luck. If you can do it twice, it shows you're smart. So they got to figure out something. And it's probably going to be something that they have to build slowly more over time. That way it's going to be more sustainable. But what they built was working. It just came crashing down. Quentin says, let me go make this video and drink a little. You got to take shots. Reinsdorf just sees the profit his teams make. That's it. That's all he does. He doesn't even attend home games. Jerry Reinsdorf stopped attending games, I think, like 20 years ago. It used to be that Jerry Reinsdorf was there more times than not. But yeah, Jerry don't care, man. I think we should go for all the good young talent we need to relax on the vets. We need size and speed. We need everything. Everything. Name it. We need it. We are trash, but what's the fix? What's the salary situation like? What's the free agent looking like next year? Would like to hear your opinion on what possible moves can be made. So I don't do that here. I'm not somebody who goes through all these mythological trades that we can make. Our salary cap situation actually isn't that bad at all. If I'm not mistaken, depending on what we do with DeMar and P. Will as far as the number, the Chicago Bulls can have true cap space as early as next year. So the salary cap situation isn't as bad as what some people will have you believe or try to make it out to be. So for example, next offseason, if I can look real quick, next offseason, the Chicago Bulls will have $41 million under the luxury tax. So that's about what we can expect to spend. Because again, we don't pay the luxury tax, so we can spend up to that. So that means we're probably going to use our full mid-level exception, things like that. But the next time we have true cap space is actually in the summer of 2025. And depending on what we do with our contracts between now and then, the Chicago Bulls can have a grand whopping total of $62 million in cap space. So that really depends a lot on what we can do over the next couple of years. So that's the biggest thing is that, but I think even more so because you're not going to be a free agent destination. You have to draft well. The Bulls have to hit on 3 out of the next 4 draft picks. They have to. They just have to. The attendance is down. Jerry got to be filling that in the wallet. Well, no, it takes a couple of years for attendance being down to fill it in the wallet. Because still, again, because we don't pay the luxury tax, we split the money of the luxury tax that's paid with the other teams that don't pay the luxury tax. So the Chicago Bulls are going to be getting that back a little bit. So yeah. Haize, I know this may sound stupid, but if Patrick Williams would do this every game, 10-7 since the beginning of the season, he would have been okay. Oh, agreed. Especially in the role that he's asked for, right? I've always said I don't look for Patrick Williams to score the 18 points per game or whatever. But if he can get over there and get 10-7 consistently, yeah, that's it. That's it. Haize, what's good? I didn't get a chance to watch the game, but do you think this loss puts Billy in the hot seat? Billy Donovan is no. It's not getting in the hot seat. It's not getting in the hot seat. Okay, L, what does that change to say they need to hit on 3 of the next 4? We know the past. Stop just complain. Get into that place. You're starting to complain, bro. Bro has billions. He's not worried about the attendance being low for a season. Exactly. It has to be more than this season. And keep in mind, even with attendance dropping, we're still top 10 in the NBA. We dropped from first to 8th, right? So still top 10 in the NBA. For this team, for the way that this team is playing, that's crazy. Zebras hate us. Might as well change our name to the Chicago Hyenas. That's funny. How would your feelings change, if at all, if we crawled back and won this game? Not on the season, not much at all. One game ain't going to change my thought on the season. It just isn't. Acme did a good job 3 years ago, but how they handle the ball injury is ridiculously bad. Even if he comes back, they don't know in which condition. They did not have a plan B till now. The engine's out. Facts. And that is one of the things, even them saying things like, oh, well, we did hope that Lonzo was going to come back last. You got to have a better plan in place. You got to have a better audible to go to. So Be Real says, honestly, bro, the Bulls only be good if they have an owner that has passion for the team. If the players don't come to the Bulls to see, even the owner doesn't care about the team, they won't know. Because ownership you see very rarely. Most owners in the NBA don't give a damn about winning. I'm just going to be real with you. They don't operate the day to day. That is why you have a president of basketball operations. That is the most important person. That is them, and the GMs are the person that the players are going to see the most. Players usually don't have a relationship with the owner. Some franchises, yes, but generally, no. So we can't say it doesn't take Jerry Reinsdorf to be obsessed with the Bulls winning for the Bulls to be a good team. It takes that the person that you have to lead the basketball operations has to do his job well. That's the most important thing in all of it. The coaching style of Donovan is always like that, slow start. No, it's not. What are you talking about? No, Billy Donovan's coaching style has not always been slow starts. That's just incorrect. Like people really try to make sense out of stuff that's just not sensible. That's not always been Billy Donovan's style. What are you talking about? It hasn't even always been his style under here. What's up with this Bulls team? We really trash. This team got to change. Some of this can't be real. What's really going on with these Bulls? They suck, Auntie. That's what it is. They suck. Again, no. Oh, the way a team runs isn't based on how much. Keep in mind, the Bulls are over the salary cap every single year. People don't really have an understanding. People hear that the Bulls don't pay the luxury tax and automatically go to, oh, the owners don't pay for that. The owners won't pay for that. The owners won't. No, that's fucking stupid. We spend more money than the salary cap every single year. We just don't spend into the luxury tax. If you can't draft well enough because of that, then that's the biggest thing hurting you. Not this ownership paying a specific amount of money. That's not it. That's stupid. We're giving out passes where there aren't any. GMs and presidents can run a team based on the teams have run for less than. The Cavs right now have a better team than the Chicago Bulls. You know the difference between our and their salary? It's literally like $10, $15 million. That, again, you have to draft well. You have to draft well. At this point, what y'all cooking for tomorrow? That is hilarious. Mark Cuban and Clippers owners are such fans, man. Gotta love it. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. There's something special about having an owner like that, but it's not a common thing. That's a rarity, having owners like that. So I predict that Nikola Vucevic will be the next to ask out of Chicago. Whoa. Come on. There we go. Followed by DeMar. Well, DeMar doesn't have to ask out. He just has to wait till the end of the season. So what you doing in Portugal, bro? You out here smashing chicks? That's crazy, bro. That's wild. So then did you miss the part of the offseason where Javonte Green is injured and not on the NBA roster right now because he's injured? And then Pat Bev, listen, people romanticize this 14-9 stretch with Pat Bev. Like we still didn't have some super big issues with the team. Keeping Pat Bev wasn't going to stop where this team is right now. I can tell you that right now. Wasn't going to stop where this team is. I just don't get AK's too scared to start over and rebuild. Zach was not chosen by you guys. He's been here before you. Only have been here 3 years. We've been here 4 years now, or 5. They're going on 4 years now. Just say you're wrong and move on. Well, it's not as simple as that. This isn't 2K. You don't just wake up and move on. You have to make smart decisions. I don't want a front office that's constantly reactionary. You got to be smart about how you go about it. So it's not just as simple as saying, hey, yeah, we're not winning. Let's just sell off everything. That's an oversimplification. That's not how it works. Dan Miles says having Pat Bev was just a Band-Aid. Agree. Definitely agree. Zach didn't play. I tell you one thing, I'm never betting on they ass no more. I will never go back to UC to see this BS. That's crazy. That's wild. I'll be back at the UC. I mean, listen, the UC is still a mecca. I love the UC, but it is what it is. Not smacking chicks, just working, fam. Couldn't get back home for the holidays. Damn, that sucks, bro. That sucks, man. That sucks you couldn't get back home, bro. I feel for you, man. Why didn't Zach play? He had a left foot strain, something like that. So, yeah, sucks. Where the Bulls right now are where we are, it sucks, man. It sucks for real. Bro, people out here talking about 14-9 like that's the greatest stretch put together. Exactly. Like it'd be different if we went like freaking 11. No, that's not even good. Like we went like 17-2. Okay, bet. That's when you make that. But hey. But all right, y'all. This sucks, fam. It sucks that this is where we're here. It's gonna be a lot of losses to come back. It just is what it is, man. It's gonna be losses. We're gonna keep losing games because this Bulls team sucks and has no No answers, no nothing. It is what it is. We do not have the answers, Sway. We ain't got the answers. And it really sucks that that's where it is right now. Aiden said Pat Bev wanted 15 million. He didn't get that though. Didn't get that. He was never going to get that. Dalen Terry also had a good game coming back tonight. His return from injury. Dalen Terry had 15 points on 7 of 16 shooting, 6 assists, 2 steals. Julian Phillips had 29 and 11. Adama Sanago had 26 and 4. I can't wait to do the G League review this upcoming week because there's been some really good performances in the G League. They also added Onulop Bateem to NBA 2K 24. So there you guys go on that one. It is what it is. But all right, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap it up. We'll be going live over on Locked On Bulls here in a second. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, it's in the description, but you can also do it at 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. Thanks to you guys. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Peace, y'all.